Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how I set my hair using my large oversized Velcro rollers, which I love so much. I showed these to you a few videos ago, my favorites. Honestly, I love this because it doesn't take me very long. Once you get used to it, you just fly through it. It's really great. So, I'm just going to show you really quickly what you need, or what I use anyway, and then I'll get started. So first off, of course, you need your large Velcro rollers. I have a few smaller ones in here for like the smaller layers I have like on the crown of my head back here. So I use small ones too. And they just kind of fit inside the bigger ones in the actual case. And I got all these at the drugstore. And also I got the little clips I'm going to be using to secure them at the drugstore as well. They're just like little metal clips that look like that. And I just have a paddle brush to kind of comb through my hair while I'm styling it. A large round brush. I'll show you how I use that in a second with my blow dryer. This is a boar bristle brush. It's always hard for me to say, but my Remington blow dryer, I got this. I've had this for like a year now. I don't know, I just got it at Walmart. It's a Remington, and it has this like removable nozzle, which is also very helpful in this process. And then just use whatever your favorite hairspray happens to be. Mine is Big Sexy Hairspray and Play Harder. I love this stuff. I've been using it since high school. It's hands down my favorite hairspray. Okay guys, so before I actually start rolling my hair in my Velcro rollers, I flip it over and blow dry it straight with my blow dryer. Now, I've had people ask me to demonstrate this before in videos, and it would be like so boring for you guys, because literally it's no rocket science. All I do is flip all my hair over and blow dry it. I don't even use a brush. I just comb through it with my fingers until it's mostly dry, and then I'll kind of like brush it out as I blow dry it, just to make sure all the knots are out and get some of the kinks out. Also, really quickly, I totally forgot to mention how I do my bangs. When I'm like blow drying my hair straight, I'll just take a section and I'll just flip them backwards and kind of off to the side like that. Then I'll just give them a little heat and with my blow dryer, and then I'll just kind of roll it under forward like that one time. And then that's pretty much how I do my bangs. And I just repeat that process like to the pieces that frame my face. Just roll them back into the side and then curl them under really quick. If you have your blow dryer, now's the time you want to put your nozzle on your blow dryer. I like to just smooth over the individual sections of hair before I actually roll them up into a Velcro roller, so I'll show you what I do. Just kind of twist it up and secure it with a clippy thing. Basically, you're just going to run through the certain strands of hair. Like, this is a section I'm going to roll up in a roller. So I'm just going to smooth over it really quickly in the same general direction that we're going to be rolling it with our roller, so that you can kind of, it just helps it stay. It smooths the hair and just makes it a lot more silky. So I'm just wrapping the section of hair around my round brush backwards away from my face, and then following it with my blow dryer nozzle. Try not to get too close. And then at the end you can like wrap it up backwards like that. And you can keep repeating that process a few times. Then the piece of hair is really nice and smooth, and it's a little bit warmed up, so that when it dries on the Velcro roller, it is going to help it just stay a lot longer and hold the shape. So next thing you want to do is I'm just taking one of my bigger Velcro rollers, and I'm placing the strip of hair in the center of the roller, and I'm like almost combing it with the little Velcro teeth out to the very end. Make sure you tuck your ends in so they don't get like scraggly. And what you can do to keep the section of hair from like popping out at the sides of the roller is give it a little pinch, and it'll just kind of make the piece a little more narrow. Then, can't get my metal tin open, okay. The Velcro rollers at the drugstore, and I also got these little metal clips at the drugstore, and you can kind of see how there's a flat side. I always just clip them flat side towards my head. And make sure you get a good like section of hair when you're clipping them, and they'll stay in for you. So there you go. And then you have a roller that looks like that. I just repeat that step a few times until the piece of hair is like really silky and kind of feels a little lighter. Take another large roller, comb through to the very end, then wrap it up. Again, if you don't want it to come out the edges, you can just pinch the section of hair like that. Then clip it. So I totally just went in the bathroom to finish the rest of the sections on the bottom, and Josh is like, that should be your Halloween costume. So I'm going to take the top section down, and it's going to be a little, not more difficult, but you know, you have rollers underneath, so just be kind of careful. Then I'm just going to take a big section in the center that contains like the pieces that frame my face basically, and repeat the same exact process. It's okay if pieces fall out, not a big deal. I've already kind of styled them anyways. The smaller pieces in the front. Just like that, and clip that one again, keeping the flat side of the clip down. Okay, so now, as you can see so far, I've rolled all of the bottom section back, and in the back, I've rolled it under. And then in the front, I just have my middle roller right here rolled back and one to either side of that, just to get, just so the pieces that frame my face in the center and around the two sides are rolled back. And then usually at this point, I've run out of all of my large pink rollers, so I'll just go to these smaller ones for the, these are just like a little smaller, for the pieces around the crown of my head, basically right back here in the back. Okay guys, so this is how it looks when it's all done. Keep in mind, the way you roll these do not have to be perfect, nor do they have to be exactly the same every time. That's why I wasn't super specific as to how I explained it to you, because every time I do it, it's a little bit different. As long as you're rolling them, you know, on the sides, you're rolling them away from your face, on the top, you're rolling them away from your face, and just rolling them under the few in the back, you'll get the same effect, and it'll look pretty much the same from day to day, you know, just you'll kind of figure out the way that you like to do it the best. Anyway, doesn't really matter about these pieces rolling, these pieces that kind of fell down around my face, or even like this big piece in the back that's sticking out. When I do this day to day, I just kind of do it really quick. These little tiny pieces don't make much of a difference, so don't worry about it, it's fine. Then what you want to do is spray a little tiny bit of hairspray. Again, big sexy hair. This is like my all-time favorite. I'm gonna try not to go overboard because I'm like, I don't want to get it all over my makeup stuff. What I normally do now is just go and do something really quick. Usually I'll just do my makeup, and then in like 10 minutes, usually like 10 minutes, if you have longer, go ahead and leave them in, you know, longer, but normally once they're cool, they're good to go and you can take them out. And normally, you know, you want to probably avoid leaving your house, I would say. So what I'm going to do is just take all the clips out at one time. I find that's the easiest way to take them out. Just take out all the clips. I really do look ridiculous in these things. Ah. Okay, so they'll kind of start to fall down once you take the clips out. And then what you have is just a really nice shape to your hair like that. So you can really just see all the volume that you get from these. What you're left with is like really huge hair. So what I normally do to get the most amount of volume, I'll like part it right there, and then about an inch back, I'll just kind of brush the rest back. So my part really only lasts from like my forehead to like right about here. And I just like brush the rest of it back just to get a lot of volume. And then, of course, you gotta comb through it a little bit. But I usually like to spray it while it's in like this huge, super voluminous state, just to like give it a little bit more hold. So I'll just kind of spray it from the bottom, and then push it up a little bit at the bottom. just brushing through it a little bit just so everything kind of softens. You know, sometimes when you put your hair in rollers, there will be some tangles just from, you know, your hair being up and then you bring it down and it's like huge. So you can just kind of comb through it so it's nice and, you know, just to get any knots out. It kind of calms down, it relaxes a lot, and you're left with a lot of lift at your roots and just kind of like a nice shape. Like, my natural hair is really long and flat. It doesn't do this naturally at all. So I just like the movement it gives to my hair. It's nice and bouncy, and it just, yeah, has a lot of movement to it. And a lot of times I'll like spray my bangs back a little bit just so they kind of stay out of my face, but they're not really bangs anymore. They're kind of grown out bangs. So send me your videos if you guys have videos on, you know, hair tutorials, Velcro rollers, any kind of rollers. Send them my way. I love to see them. And if not, try it out at home and let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.